our fourth session now.
Yeah, correct. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you for
Hi
joining us
everyone.
today. Hello, how are you
It's us
today?
again.
Uh,
Yeah.
hope you are still not bored with both of us.
We will have new faces soon, I hope.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay. So welcome you all to join our session today. And today we are going to talk about communicating with people with aphasia. This is our fourth online webinar already. So now while waiting for the more audience to join in, so let me brief you a little bit of our Facebook page. So our Facebook page is Aphasia in Malaysia. So actually this is a platform for all the public in Malaysia. So to share about aphasia information, we also welcome discussion about challenges or any stories that you face throughout the aphasia recovery journey. And we also welcome your successful stories and also your testimonials with all of us here in this platform so that to motivate other people living with aphasia also.
Yes, just
Okay.
PM us. You can share your stories or even talk about anything. We'll welcome that.
Yes, definitely. And today we are so honored to have Zizi again. So today Zizi is going to be a speaker again. All right. Okay. So today we are going to talk about how can we communicate with people with aphasia. So I believe that some of you, those of you who have been following our webinar, we have been talking about what is aphasia. So aphasia is a kind of a complex communication disorder following some forms of damage to the brain, like for example, stroke or traumatic brain injury. And sometimes when we come across these people, so you might not have a idea how can we communicate with them respectfully and effectively also. And sometimes whenever they they cannot convey their message to you, so you have no idea to react, right? So do you come across with this kind of situations, is it?
Yes, every day actually, but I think you get better at it like with
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
also have to know some of the strategies or some tips, very handy tips and strategies that you can use when you are communicating with these people living with aphasia. You will still feel you are communicating with a normal person also, and this conversation can be very enjoying and very rewarding also. So
Yes,
today we are
definitely.
very yeah so today we are very lucky to have Zizi again, and she's a speech and language therapist. She's working in a private setting, and she has been working with adults living with aphasia for quite some time. So she must have a lot of strategies to share with all of you here today. How can we communicate with people living with aphasia?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll just pull up a nice little slides. Today, we're just talking about sharing some tips about how we can communicate with people with aphasia. Raymond, can we have
Oh,
the slides up?
Zizi, you are ready already.
Yes.
Okay, I forgot to pass the stage to you. All right.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Okay,
I
all right.
own this stage.
No, so I officially pass the stage to you. All right, okay.
Yes.
Here you go.
Um, Yep. So yeah, like what I said just now, today is a bit more on like some practical tips on how we can better communicate with people with aphasia because they might have some issues in communication. So this is more on some simple tips that we can use in daily life. A lot of things are pretty intuitive, very straightforward, but we're just putting it down in a more like systematic manner. So if you go to the next slide, as what Raymond mentioned just now, um, um, in this topic we'll focus on people with aphasia, but some of these strategies are actually applicable for people with other communication disorders as well. So if you go to the next slide, I have another brief intro on what is aphasia. Like what Raymond explained just now, it's an acquired language disorder. So a lot of people with stroke or people with brain injury might have this language disorder. They might have issue to understand, to use, or to say certain words, understanding languages. So it affects their speaking, listening, reading, or writing. Sometimes one aspect, sometimes more. So if you go to the next slide, we can see a lot of times aphasia also coexists with other communication disorder. So for example, like after a stroke, this person maybe they have difficulty understanding language, but they might also have dysarthria, which is basically weakness of muscle or speech. So their speech might be weak, their speech might be a bit slurred, their lips might be a bit drooping, and their voice might be a bit soft. So that might cause some communication issue as well. People maybe cannot hear them well, cannot hear them clearly. And then acquired apraxia of speech is another common coexisting condition, meaning that the person has issue coordinating the muscle to produce speech. So sometimes they know what they want to say, but all of their oral motor are not listening and not producing the words. So this might cause communication issues and communication breakdown as well. So
Mm.
hopefully some of these tips that we share will be useful.
Mm.
Yep. So, well, basically, the communication challenges would be firstly, we cannot understand what they're trying to say. Maybe they're not using the right word, like we mentioned in our previous talk before. People with aphasia, they might have paraphrasia. Maybe they cannot say out the word. Maybe they use the wrong word, so we cannot understand them, or they cannot say what they want. Or, and the other way, sometimes they cannot understand what we are saying, or
Mm.
sometimes it's both. So you can
Mm.
foresee that if the person that you're talking to have all of these difficulties, it is going to be a challenge for you to carry on the conversation. And we're going to talk about how we can help to
Yeah.
reduce the challenges, hopefully.
Yeah, because if I were the layperson, I mean the normal public, when I come across these kind of people who cannot understand and they cannot also say what they want, it looks like, they might make us think that, oh, they might be deaf, or they might be, cannot speak. You see. So
Yes.
I mean, the first response I will give is I will avoid talking to them. I won't.
Yeah, actually, that's
Yeah.
very common, and that's
Yeah.
also very sad. So actually,
Mm.
some patients or caregivers will say like their friends or family doesn't talk to them as much. Sometimes because they don't know how to communicate with these people with aphasia, and they just avoid conversation, and it just makes them more socially isolated. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good for relationship, not good for mental health, and that's
Mm.
what some you try to avoid and reduce by learning more about all these communication strategies.
Yeah. So Zizi, please teach us some tips and
uh,
strategies now.
and yeah, some tips. So, well, communication works two ways. Um, so when there is a breakdown, the frustration goes both ways as well. The people with aphasia might feel frustrated; they cannot say what they want, or people cannot understand them. But the conversation partner might also feel frustrated because they cannot understand, or like even after they repeat the same thing 5, 10 times, the people of aphasia also cannot understand. So in communication, it's both way. So if there is breakdown, the frustration also goes both way. And
Yeah, I'm quite
so
interested in this picture. Why you choose this picture is quite interesting. Like one person is talking about shark, right? And the other
yeah,
person might not understand. Are you talking about starfish or some
yes,
other kind of fish?
exactly. So that's where the breakdown happens, and it causes a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what we said just now, um, the communication breakdown also affects communication partners. And communication partners is like actually more than what we think, right? It can be the people with aphasia's family member, being the family member, being the caregiver, they might need to communicate a lot of things. Also health professional like us as a speech therapist or the doctor, nurses, physiotherapists, they need to tell the patient what to do. They need to tell the patient, to do this exercise, to take these drugs. And sometimes there might be communication challenges as well, and friends, or basically anyone that they came across.
Yeah.
So
So as long as it is a human, you so do
yes,
you agree?
exactly.
All right. Okay. Cool.
So, well, we know that aphasia affects more than language. All these communication breakdowns, for people with aphasia, it affects their mental well-being, affects their mood, and like what Raymond mentioned just now, like sometimes when people avoid communicating with them, it affects their relationship, reduces their social activities. So this is the effect for people with aphasia. And then if you go next, you will see that because of a lot of this communication breakdown, it also affects the care they receive in hospital. So studies has shown that patients with communication disability in the hospital, they are 3 times more likely to have adverse event.
Mm,
So meaning, like over here, you can see they have higher risk of fall, they have
mm,
higher risk of unexpected things happen to them, and they
mm,
are more likely to be dissatisfied of the healthcare services. A lot of times it's because of the communication issue. They don't understand what's going on, or the health professional cannot convey the message to them. So it is not only causing them distress in life, it also affects the healthcare they receive. And if you move on to the next slide, you will see that it definitely also affects caregivers. So this is a study in US. They show that caregivers who are giving care of people with aphasia, they have very high stress level.
mm,
Their mental, right, emotional well-being is affected. And you can see that a lot of times, more than 90% of the times, they will need to help with communication. And this is what we want to talk more about on like how we can try and help with communication.
mm,
So moving on to the next slide. I think it is important for us to clarify that in this case, our goal is communication, meaning to get the message across the board. So a lot of times, especially caregivers, sometimes when the people with aphasia, they use like very short and simple sentences, or their
mm,
pronunciation is not very clear. We always tend to like correct them, or you want to teach them what's right. But
mm,
sometimes in communication, you just want to get the message across. So whatever that works, even if they're only pointing, if you can understand them, then you accept it. Otherwise, they will feel very frustrated if they say this. If they already said it, they say this, but their pronunciation isn't right, and you force them to repeat. It will also sometimes make them frustrated and avoid communicating.
mm.
So if you want to facilitate communication, just encourage whatever they say, try whatever works. So it doesn't have to be verbal gestures, pointing or pictures, whatever, that is fine. And
Mm.
everyone is different. So like what we discussed before, aphasia would be different for everyone. So sometimes some people might have difficulty understanding verbal instruction, but if you write to them, they understand it 100%. So
Mm.
yeah, so see what works best for them. You can check that with the people with aphasia or their significant others and see like, maybe the family member will tell you, actually this person respond better if you say in English or if you say in Cantonese. So if you know what works better, it will help you a lot as well.
So what about if let's say family say, oh, he's very good at English, you're very good at Mandarin, he very good at all languages. I think this is quite common scenario in Malaysia because we speak
Yeah.
Rojak language, right?
Yes. Well, if it's good in all languages, you can use all languages. Just yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, I
yes,
agree.
whatever that works. That's our
Yeah,
goal. We're
yeah.
practical. We just want to get our message across.
So yeah, that's where how my Hokkien language become more and more improved over times now.
Really, I need to
Yeah,
pick that again. Yeah.
and now I'm still learning Tamil, so I hope that I can improve
Oh,
my Tamil over time.
yes. Good on you. Get it out.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're talking about what can we do to support communication for people with aphasia. So, like people with physical disability, we will give them crutches. We can give them wheelchair if they can't walk. But for people who have difficulty talking and communicating, we
We
will
give them.
also need to provide them with tools and
Are,
support.
are we giving them another mouth? Are we giving?
Uh, well, nowadays there are a lot of apps that can talk for you.
So
Like
it's like a fake mouth, right?
yes, yeah. These are all of the augmentative tools that we will talk a bit about.
All right.
So yeah, before that, some general rules. Basically, like what Raymond mentioned just now, it's very, very important to respect them. So they are still an individual with valid opinion, especially things about their healthcare. So try and respect them, talk to them, don't ignore them. Because a lot of the times, like I see other people, they will tend to, if a people of aphasia come with their family member, a lot of times they tend to just talk to the family member without addressing the people of aphasia. I think it's very important for us to include them in conversation, especially if we are talking about things that are related to them. And
Yeah.
then use natural tone. So even though they have difficulty understanding, you don't have to use like baby talk, but also try to avoid talking too fast or too loud. Just talk like how you would naturally talk that encourage them to communicate. So one thing I'll always advise against is try not to talk for them, even though sometimes they cannot use complete sentences, but you can give them a bit more time instead of talking for them. Oh, he mean this.
Mm.
Yeah, so if you have limited time, you can tell them like, maybe we only have like 15 minutes appointment. I need to explain this to you. Maybe I'll talk to your family member first about this, but I'm sorry about that. So yeah, just always address them, always talk to them, and also be honest. Don't pretend that you understand them when you can't. Sometimes, they if they are not using the word that they should be using, or if they are not pronouncing it clearly, you might have difficulty understanding it. Just tell them and ask them to repeat it. That's fine. Yep. So
Okay.
that's
So.
just some
Mm.
general rules. So it's a bit like setting up the stage before you start a conversation, or like before speech we start the speech therapy session. You try and reduce distraction, and then we can provide your helpful tools. And I think most importantly is you really need to have the heart to connect. You want to listen to what they have to say, and you really need to have a lot of patience and understand that they are having difficulty and they are trying hard to convey their message. And so we need to support them in that way as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially for the last one, and yet very difficult for us, even we speech therapists, to practice this because it is
Mm.
something we need to practice every day. Like you have a heart to connect. Everyone has a heart, right? Okay,
Uh,
this is
but
the common.
sometimes you have to, yeah, like you're looking at the watch, you're like, oh, well, like we only have 15
Yeah.
minutes left, I guess.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
the heart you mentioned here is about the interest. We have to show
Yes.
interest in them. Like, yes, I'm so interested in what you're trying to say. So I'm listening to you. I'm look forward to listening to you. Right. So I
Yeah.
think this will help motivate them. And especially as of course for patients, I also agree. Like most of the people, not only people living with aphasia, I found that actually even
Yes.
all of us, most of us,
Anyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere in this world, especially like 21st century, everyone is so fast to catch up with all the technology development. So I think it's quite common to see everyone is impatient. Of course, this
Yes.
includes our patients also. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think then, so in other way, I think we have to be more patient than them, right?
Yes, definitely. It really can take a long time. So,
Yeah.
first thing, like I always say just now, remove distraction because they can be easily distracted. And sometimes you don't notice we really have a lot of distractions all around us. Firstly,
Mm.
TV, sometimes a lot of loud music or phone, like, messages popping in nonstop. Even like, sometimes for us, when you're talking to them, then you hear messages, you might feel distracted as well, or
Yeah.
just people around talking. So like all this distraction would also distract them. You want them to be able to focus on the conversation. So try and remove or minimize that. And then secondly, if they need any glasses, hearing aids, make sure it's on.
Mm.
Yes, and then next one is some tools that might be helpful. Actually, even though I put magic tools here, these are all basic things that you can get anywhere, right?
Oh,
So
this
paper
is,
and pen is
you copy my topic last week.
sorry. Yes, but yeah, they are always useful. I'm just double verifying it. Paper and pen, yeah, you can write on it, you can draw on it, you can write down things for them to point, they can write down things for you. Same goes for
Mm.
whiteboard. And on tablet, you can do a lot more. Like they can point to things, you can have pictures there. There are a lot of application that can help with that as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so these are some of the things. Like what I said, try whatever works. Even like pointing, they can have communication books, you can have alphabet boards, you can just use gestures, anything. So you can prepare some of this
Mm.
ready as well, just beside you. So if in the conversation they got stuck, they need help, you can just pull that over and like let them point or
Yeah.
write on it. Yeah.
Yeah. It recalls a very fresh memory of mine. Lately because our Chinese New Year just over. Some of our
Yes.
our Chinese speaking patients, you see,
Uh-huh.
sometimes we want to teach them like gong xi fa chai. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, so most of the time, so family will ask them, tell people gong xi fa chai, tell people gong
Uh,
xi fa chai. So it's like, but ended
mm,
up, the patient cannot say, you see, very frustrated and very discouraged. So I think these tools can be very helpful. And I remember one of my patients, so see, when I actually I don't use anything. I just use gestures.
uh,
I believe you'll be saying
yeah,
gestures also. Okay, so I
yeah.
just show the gong xi fa cai, and then of course I show my mouth. I didn't even say the word, so the patient start saying gong xi fa cai. So I
That's
think,
nice. Yeah.
yeah. So I think
Oh,
whatever
whatever.
works, yeah, whatever try, whatever works. Sometimes we don't have the paper, so we use our hands. Sometimes we don't have pen, so
Yes,
you have our phone, right? I think, yeah, you are
yes.
right. All right. Okay, this slide finished,
All
right?
right. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we'll talk about two parts, even though we sort of briefly covered that specifically. So, how to get our message in, make sure that they understand us, and it's important to always check because sometimes the people with aphasia also will be like us, even though they don't 100% understand, they will also mm. So it's good to check again, check that
Yeah.
they are understanding you correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of the basic tricks is like sometimes if they have difficulty understanding spoken words, like the things that we're saying, it would be helpful if you can use gesture, like what mentioned. Raymond mentioned just now, pictures, or sometimes simply show the object. If you want to ask them, like if you want to ask them have they eaten, you can just use
Yeah.
gestures,
Yeah.
or like about things you can show them, like phone or things like that. So it's easier for them to understand.
Yeah.
If they can understand written words, it's easier, like you can write it down.
What about chicken
Yep.
rice? If you want the patient, you want to ask if a patient wants to eat chicken rice, how will you gesture?
Chicken rice, I'll be like, I don't know. It's a bit hard.
It will be
That's the
hard, right?
rice.
You'll be drawing. Okay.
I
Okay.
would
The
draw it.
rice.
I think I would draw it, or I'll just Google up the picture. I actually
Yeah.
always Google image.
Yeah. Google image. That would be a good
Yes.
idea. Of course, you can also use gesture like chicken rice. Chicken rice. Is normally what I
Yeah.
did.
Okay. Yeah. So like if it's long and complex information, you can try to keep it short and simple. Try to put it into short sentences. For example, like you want to ask like, oh, you want to go to shopping. What do they want or things like that. Just say, oh, shopping. What do you want? So keep it simple.
Yep.
Don't talk too fast, and then be specific. Try to avoid using what we call it pronoun or this and that kind of thing, because sometimes they will forget like what you were talking about before this. So try to specify. When you, for example, is yeah. So and then yeah, when you talk, you can always add something. It's like crutches. So you give them something to help them to understand you better. So you can use gestures or what Raymond did just now. You can show picture, you can show the object, or you can just write down certain keywords. That would be helpful as well. Yep. Yeah, and gestures. You know,
Okay.
that's the tools that just come with us naturally. You can do a lot of things, good, bad, what else? Or just nodding, head turn.
Mm,
Yeah, conveys a lot. Yeah, so these are some of the tools that they use in hospitals for health professionals. So that even though they can't say it, the people with aphasia can show, like, where are they feeling pain, what's the level, they feeling pain, itchiness, or things like that. So that helps them to be able to express themselves as well. Yeah, even menu, like they also have aphasia friendly menu, so that's more picture based, so that the people with aphasia can understand it, can point at it, can tell you what they want.
mm.
Yep,
Do you download it from internet, or
yeah,
take a
I did.
picture, from a restaurant menu? Do they
No,
allow or
no,
not?
I got it from internet.
I
I hope
think
the restaurants are doing that though.
yeah, I think with permission, I think they allow you to take photo, for
Yeah,
this kind purpose. I think it's very helpful.
yeah,
Because sometimes when we are, the menu we are taking, I mean downloading, we have to make sure it's Malaysia culturally
oh
appropriate.
yes, this is very western, as you can see. I really
Yeah,
just
yeah. See,
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, simple things, even like a yes no board, or if they're confused, they can point the question mark, or they can say wrong track, like
mm,
so we can start all over again. Things like
yep.
that. Yep. Yeah. So if we want to get their message out, now that they've understood it, so yeah, like what we said just now, patience, paper and pen, things for them to show. We can write down keywords, and most importantly, give them time to respond. Yeah, so if you move on to the next slide, you can see that, well, just basically keep things simple, like according to their level. So if they can already ordering like chicken rice, want to add egg or not,
Yeah.
things like that, then of course you can go on to that conversation level. But if
Mm,
they are still struggling to get single words, then maybe you can just give them some pictures that they can point to. And
mm,
it's always good to um, have a topic or constraint, like constraint topic, I'll say,
mm,
in in initially. So for example, you can say now we want to talk about lunch. Then you can write
mm.
down the keyword, or you can have it
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, so that like we can all know what we're talking about. And then you can provide options. So this is also some of the tools that help them to express themselves. So they can point and tell you, they want to go to bathroom, they want to do this and that. Or there are like a one row of simple things up there. They can say, it's good, it's bad, they want it, they don't want it. So if they're at a level that they can't say this yet, it will be helpful for them to have something that they can point to tell you what they want.
Mm. That's good.
Yeah, so yeah, we have different types. So these are more picture based one. Then moving on, if the patient, if you go to the one up there, the patient can write, then you can give them a whiteboard or something that they can write on. They can point. So these are for people who have expressive aphasia, meaning like they can understand more things, but just having difficulty saying it verbally. So they
Mm,
can use that. And then last one is for yeah, the spelling board that they can spell, they can point. We have a lot of applications that you can use as well nowadays. And then we will have another session talking more about all of these alternative and augmentative tools. So basically, these are some of the things that you can try to get messages in and out, but it doesn't always work. So even though you have all these tools, sometimes
mm.
you still cannot get them, or they still cannot get you.
Yeah.
It is normal. They are having difficulties. So um,
That- Mm,
just yeah, we can just acknowledge that. You can say, sorry, I don't understand you right now. Sorry, I couldn't get you. But you can say, I know it's very frustrating, but we can try again, or we can try another way, or we can
mm,
try again later. Things like
mm.
that. So just be honest, and then yeah, acknowledge it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Next
I
one.
guess, yeah. So lastly, just to make sure, especially if you're having a long discussion, you can verify to make sure that you understand it correctly. So you can repeat the message, you can expand it, and then you can summarize it and let them check. So they'll see, so to see they agree or not. Sometimes it's like after a long discussion,
Mm,
it I
mm,
think this will be very helpful for them also
mm,
to refresh.
mm,
Yeah. So that would be that. So generally, I guess just a bit of summary and pointing out. So uh this is one of the resources that we have in our Facebook page as well. So always ask what helps, always ask like what works better for them. Be patient, minimize distraction, and then keep it simple, one thing at a time. And last one is you can just always try different things. So these are some of the tips that we can use, things that we can do when we're communicating with people with aphasia, either as their family member, friends, health professionals. You can all do that to provide a little bit of support for them.
mm.
Yep. Then the next one. So actually, like what I said just now, communication works both ways. So we can try to help people, but if you are someone with aphasia, you can also try and educate other people on how they can help you, especially for people who don't know about aphasia. And sometimes, like what I mentioned before, aphasia can be a invisible disorder, especially if you look normal physically. People might not know that you have difficulty in communication, so sometimes you need to let them know. We also have resources like this in our Facebook page. So you can let them know you might have difficulty in speaking, listening. Like for yourself, you can circle up the area that applies to you. Maybe right now you have difficulty understanding, then or like speaking. You can circle and point to them. Then they might be able to help you. We have this in our Facebook album. I think we have a wallet size one also. Like you can print out, cut it, and then put in your wallet. So that might be helpful, especially if you're in an unfamiliar place. It's very hard for you to explain to people. You can just show them.
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be the part. So just some simple tips. It fits nicely with the acronym of facial. Just keep things simple, provide choices, and then help them acknowledge frustration, like we say, and then speak slowly and clearly. I is if you
Mm,
don't understand, just say so. And
mm.
A, I think it's very important. Allow extra time. It really can take quite a long time, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if even if you cannot get the answer today, you can always, come back again. Maybe tomorrow they will thought of the answer. They will think of the answer. I mean, if let's say they cannot say today, so we can. I think we can always tell them that not to worry. So it will come back again. So let's come back here again later. So I
Yes.
think they will be very helpful.
Yeah, so I wish we can share like more like videos and things like that, but I hope this sort of tips is helpful, and I hope all of us can try and create a supportive environment for people, not only people with aphasia, but people with communication disorder to still enjoy conversations, still communicate with us, and yeah, I think all of you today are doing great. You're taking the first step to learn more. So please let us, yeah, that's all good. You can skip to the next one. Please let us
All right.
know if you have any questions, if you need clarifications. And also, like I said just now, if you have stories that you want to share with us, you are more than welcome to do so. We always love to hear that. Right. Do we have any questions?
All right. Okay. So now it's a Q&A session. Okay. Maybe
Yes.
maybe as usual. So let the host ask the question first before the audience questions come
Okay.
up.
Okay. Yes, please.
I think this just is not a question. I think this is. I believe this is a common scenario faced by the aphasia caregivers.
Uh-huh.
The other day, so I had a patient's family. Uh,
Uh-huh.
the family member actually share with me how the challenges, the hard feelings they feel, when they communicating with the loved one living with aphasia.
Yes.
Like they say they cannot understand
Yes.
what the loved one is saying. You see, they're trying to guess. Sometimes, a lot of times
Yes.
they guess
Yes.
wrongly. They guess
It's
wrong.
so common. I mean, a lot of times I also guess wrongly. Then the person will
Yeah.
get so frustrated. In the end, they're like,
Yeah.
never mind.
So what the family member do is, okay. So
Uh-huh.
the family member will nod the head. Act as if the family member understand the loved one living with aphasia. Then, but internally, the family member feels very disheartened. Very stressful, very discouraged. Feel very uncomfortable that, oh, how can't I understand my loved one? How can I guess
Uh,
the answer? You see, so that's why I try to nod my head, to acknowledge, at least to acknowledge my loved one. Okay, I'm with you. What
yeah.
do you think? Mm.
Well, like what I said just now, we're talking about trying to be honest, but I also
Yeah.
have to admit sometimes I also do that. Like especially if the person of aphasia try
Mm.
to repeat it many times. Maybe like if I already said, I don't understand, like can you explain more? And I guess a few more. I think after like more than 5 trials, if I still cannot understand and if I sense that that person is getting quite frustrated, then I'll be
Yeah.
like, or
Mm.
yeah, like we'll say like, oh, maybe we can discuss about this later. Or
Yeah.
yeah, so uh, it is. I think it is common and it's also something that's expected because
Mm.
they actually do have a medical condition that cause communication disorder. So,
Mm.
uh, yeah, even though we are trying our best to help, but sometimes we still cannot get it, and that is normal.
Mm.
You just have to address it and keep on encouraging them. Hopefully, things will get better soon, and this sort of frustration will be lesser and lesser.
Yeah, I think except for those very complicated issues to bring out, like for example, insurance or will writing or other very complex, like property kind of issues. So those routine kind of
Um,
communication needs, like for example, toilet,
I
hot,
think daily life
cold.
thingy family
Yeah.
members can get very easily.
Yes, yeah, I believe there's a
Yeah,
range. There's a range for it, right? There's a
yeah.
range
But if
of
there are
yeah,
daily life thingy, what they want to eat, what they want to do, family
yeah,
members sometimes can know without them saying. But if they go beyond that, talk about something else or their
mm,
memories, some past event or
mm,
things they saw, then uh,
mm,
if they go a bit broader, then it's a
mm,
bit harder to guess
yeah. But it's
when you
always
don't
good.
know the topic.
Yeah, but it's always good for I think, for the family members to keep guessing in a way. I
Yes.
mean, in
Yeah,
a
I mean, it encourages them to share more, to talk more, because
yeah, 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 yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
yeah,
And most of the time, family members know the better than us, with the loved one, most of the
definitely.
time. So they know the person the best, best person. So they are the best person to give us a lot of information, more information for us, it
Yes.
actually save us a lot of time, to guess what the patient says
Yes.
most of the time. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
I
why I
rely a
always,
lot on the family members or the
yeah, definitely.
caregivers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So because we are not the one who's staying with the person, 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, just now when my mom was looking at my slide, she actually asked a question as well.
Wow.
That
Okay.
yeah, I want to know, Raymond, your responses to this. So she was saying, all of this looks good, but like, how do you keep it going and continuously do this? Because it does look like a lot of effort. And
That's a very good question, because even we, like speech therapists, we take years to practice all these skills, you see, and to make us very competent. Like we can use all these skills interchangeably and very hands-on, like it's like a snap in our mind, you see. So it's not easy for family members. So normally I would give the family members one tip at a time only. Okay, now you just practice one tip for 1 week or even 1 month. You just practice one tip. If because sometimes I believe that the consistency, keep practicing that one single tip. Like for example, if you use gestures. So I think
Mm-hmm.
if you keep continuing using that gesture, with your loved one, of course, together with the speech, not just gesturing only like sign language like that, right? So I
Yeah.
believe you will see a lot of changes in the loved one. If you ask what changes, I don't know because each person is different. Some patients they will
Yes.
respond to you more, they have more communication intention, even though you still cannot understand them, right? But they're still
Yes.
way, but they have more
Yeah.
interest to communicate with you. Their
I
interest in
think
you.
that is very important as well. The intent, the
Yeah,
interest.
yeah, definitely. I think
Yes.
yeah, this is what I do lah. Normally, I give not many tips, but I think today is very
One
informative
thing at a
sharing
time.
from you, Gigi. So at least you
Oh,
share
thank you.
a lot of tools for all of us. Luckily, this is a recorded session, so our audience can keep looking
Yeah.
back.
We can always come back to it. Yeah.
Yes.
So hope people find this helpful.
All right. Yes. So I think people still feel very overwhelmed with all the tips, or so they might need time to digest it, or unless you have more things to discuss about this. I think
Yeah.
next time we were talking about how can we communicate with people with dementia. I think this is something public might want to know more
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Definitely.
like
Yes.
especially, especially now during MCO period, right? So a lot of patients have to stay at home. So what's more, I mean, because even without the MCO, they're already talking less. What's more now, they have to stay at home, so they even have lesser chance to talk. So for dementia
Lesser
people,
stimulation.
lesser stimulation, I think for the dementia patients, so it might be very, they can cause a lot of impact on that. So I think hopefully next few
Yeah.
times we can
Definitely.
talk about how we can communicate with people with dementia more effectively. All right, I think that.
Awesome. Would love to hear that.
Yep. Okay, so hopefully I will be the speaker or you. All right. Okay, so I think that's all for today. I think thank you, Zizi,
Thank
again
you everyone for joining us.
for your time, and thank you everyone for your time. And please don't forget to like our page and then share our recorded session to your to your friends and families, or to any one of your friends who needed it. So I think this information that Zizi has shared with you must have been very beneficial to all of you, when you practice it. So don't forget, practice one tip at a time, then you will see a huge change in the person living with aphasia. You can even make them how to express themselves more effectively. All right, so it takes two ways. All right, then I think that's all for today, so see you again. All right, and thanks, Zizi, and see you again also.
Okay.
All right, okay,
Thanks,
and
Raymond. Yes,
have a
see
have a
you.
good night. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye.